Hey guys, Nick here, and welcome back to my Let's Play of What Remains of Edith Finch, Episode 4. How's everyone doing here? I think we left off in the previous episode with quite, I would say, well, most of these episodes will be leaving us at a, downer ending. So, yeah, I guess gotta keep going then.
The wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
But yeah, like I mentioned in the previous episode, while this game might bring up some emotions, but I guess I appreciate that it does that.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
I can't crash into it, can I? Oop. Oh wow. Is this what happens to the totem?
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Okay. Problem child, I guess. Well, not really. It could just be him not happy with having
Panicked geese appeared and
a
quickly
stepmom.
went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of anger and power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam.
That looks like a oof.
But I
That looks
didn't
like a
until we found
a
it.
squid. So we didn't really think about him. He looks like a angry
She
child
never
as well.
thought about him, but Mom told
With
me
the
that if I
hairstyle.
was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Yeah, kind of. This is the kind of game I don't know. Just needs to. You just need to. What's the right word? Digest a little bit. Like
My mom
I don't
never
know
lost
how
her
you will
mother's
feel about
died.
playing something like this. But for me, I think,
At the time, it was as far
Wow.
as she could get.
like I mentioned in the previous episode, like wow, yes, a lot of games that we sorry about that. A lot of games that we play is violent, and it's about killing something.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
But yeah, it's just thinking about some of these things as well. Don and Sanjay. So the dad is
She
Sanjay.
spent a summer building houses in Calcutta,
India.
where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Oh, nice. 1986. That's when I was born. That's very close to when my partner is born, actually.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
It's raining.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back
Edith.
and to see kids in the house again.
Her plants are dead. Well, to be fair, this isn't the time. After such a long time, I'm sure all plants are dead.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Is this
For
a school?
while, things were good. Almost normal.
There's a school in the house. Our family history, fact or fiction. What's on the table? Lewis rules. Yeah, okay.
But it didn't last.
Observation, question, research, hypothesis, experiment, data, conclusion. Relief efforts and disaster. I think that's what happened to the dad. To teach is to learn. Don Finch. 7 ways to create a fulfilling classroom. Odin Finch by Edith Finch. The Curse, the Myth, the History.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Milton.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
That looks very... That on the left there, it looks very familiar. Put down in comments, you know, where do you think you've seen that before? Oh, is it the same developers? I think that it is. Cool. Cool. I like that game as well. I really do. What's the point of sealing up the room if you can just open it? Was Milton the kid that, you know, was taking part in this game? That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Because I think that was also another story about a child just trying to deal with the world that he's in.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Are we gonna play a sequence similar to that? To Unfinished Swan? I had to beat that game. I had to beat that game
Milton
in
Finch in the magic paintbrush.
without like having to throw paintbrush, like blind in the first area, I think. Right? I should play that on PS4 and get all the trophies as well. Because I got them on either the Vita or the PS3 version. So I think I should let's play that again just to get for the trophies and stuff. Drew a door for himself and disappeared. Yeah, I really like these kind of games, honestly. And if they're connected, that's cool.
Disappeared.
Wow, it goes up even higher. Okay. That's the king. Yeah, I should play
Mom
Unfinished
spent
Swan.
months searching for my brother.
Or at least
Then she said
get a let's play
yours.
of that after this one.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
I don't think I say this much because I'm not really a music person, but I think the music in this game is really nice as well. Of course, some of it I think is classical music. Sounds like classical music to me.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
His room is cool. There's a what's that? Gambling table right in the middle there. Also, yeah, if she's 22 weeks pregnant, I'm like, this climbing is like really dangerous. The door is locked, I guess. Oh, now I can tell that she's pregnant. Did I just not open the door right? Okay. I don't know, you're supposed to push in or pull out? Okay, that's so weird. So she pulled it out, but I was pushing the analog stick up. I pulled it back just now, which is why I think it stopped.
Lewis's
C#
room
pipe.
smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
St. John Ale.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Yeah. Lewis Finch. Exit. Marijuana. Legalize marijuana.
Dear
Greatest
Mrs.
Yell.
Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Oh, that's cool. So on the left side, I'm actually controlling it with the left analog stick, and the right side with the right analog stick.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
Yeah, I can see how I am actually
And
also
something
just not paying
Bats.
attention to the left.
And toads.
Dragon.
And things that have not names.
Yep, I'm messing up the left as well.
He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Oh wow, it's getting more complicated.
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his
This
boss,
seems very involved.
but he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused.
Yeah, but
Like a whole new Lewis.
one side is like really dangerous.
So I let him go on.
Oh no, it's getting bigger.
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
I kind of don't want to say too much because I do kind of know what happens, but I'm just gonna
Build
leave
the
it
city up
as is
slowly,
for
brick
someone
by
who
brick.
hasn't played this game before. So I'm just gonna play it as though,
Then he made
yeah, I'll be
musicians.
distracted and all that, and let it speak for itself.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannon. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished.
Oh no.
He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. Conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville.
Up. The boat doesn't steer that well.
St. Louis.
That kind of makes
He
sense.
started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a
Let's go Handsome Queen.
handsome queen.
Okay, what's going on here?
The queen was on her own quest for
Is that actually
radiant
Yeah.
rainbows.
Tamil? Wow. Okay.
He followed the sound of her
Let's just keep going right, shall we?
silver harp.
I missed a couple of those. It's not easy to control. I'll put it that way.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the
Okay.
world was all in his imagination.
Can't even see anything at this point.
he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
A god?
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Play video games.
Began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
What am I supposed to do?
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Interesting.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
The wise calico.
His queen waited, holding his crown.
Oh no. That's the guillotine, isn't it?
There was only one thing left to do. Bend down
Why?
his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Wonder what do you call this? What was going on with his mind? Schizophrenia, was it, or something? I don't remember. But I guess yeah, I think I think that's a good place as any to stop before we move on to the next section. So just want to thank you guys for watching. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I think that was a pretty cool Sorry, yeah, just wanted to just cap it off a little bit before we actually end. I think that was pretty cool section where I think it showed it tried to convey like the mindset of Lewis when he started to dissociate himself from reality. And I think it's a pretty cool way, and as I was controlling it as well, that as you know, as you kept doing the same thing over and over again, yeah, it became routine, it became everything, and my mind went like really did go towards the one on the left because it was more interesting. I could still like keep doing the same thing over and over again on the left, on the right, like just grab the fish, cut it off, and all that. And I think there will be certain points where you have to focus on it before you do it, so that you can open the door to the next area. But I think it was a cool way that it went from like a simple game, a 2D map with no graphics or anything like that, just line drawings, into something that is like 3D and first person view. And I think that is similar to how like some games, like the game industry has gone, like from 2D maps to maybe isometric gameplay, and then to a 3D like movement, and then at the end it was a first person game. And I think, yeah, that's a pretty cool, both in terms of showing the history of games as well as putting yourself into the mindset of Lewis, who is becoming more and more dissociative from the real world. I'm not sure if I'm using the right word, but yeah, dissociated from reality and all that. So I think that's pretty cool. And I apologize. And I think, yeah, I think that's my thoughts for that part. Gus is, yeah, just like that. But well, yeah, okay. So I guess that's it for today's episode, and I'll be back soon. So just want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.